The following AOR live stream is brought to you by the following sponsors: Elgato Gaming, Hype Energy Drinks, Thrustmaster and GT Omega Racing. Make sure to check them out in the description down below after this evening's race. Hello and welcome to Apex Online Racing. It is Sunday night, it is 7 o'clock and it is time for Season 17 round number 2. It is the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's a desert at night. It's going to be a very fun race. My name is Andy Campbell, filling in solo here tonight as a last minute change. Brilliant to be here. I'm actually quite excited, to be perfectly honest, if you want my honest opinion. Really looking forward to some phenomenal action tonight, and hoping that it's going to be a really fun race. Obviously last week we had round number 1 of this shortened season, and it's seen a Renault 1-2 as Dominic and Jarno took the honours at the top, with Jim Michael coming in third place in the Williams. Renault obviously leading the Constructors' Championship by quite a distance now, 43 points to 16 for the Williams drivers. So we'll see if anyone can take the challenge to the yellow and black machines tonight. We've got 17 drivers here this evening to battle it out in the duel in the desert. We've got a few people in the chat already. Nolan, who I would normally be commentating on Tier 2, joining in. Thank you for joining us. Big C's watching from the retirement home. Luca giving a shout for Max Till, and MTZ Vamos Frank. Well, we've got plenty of people there, and I'll try and keep up with the chat as much as I can. I'll try and keep up with the penalty count as much as I can as well, but obviously I am running on my own, so bear with me. I will do my absolute best this evening. Obviously tyre choice we've got the yellow soft tyres, we've got the red super soft tyres and the white medium tyres, if memory serves me correctly, for this track. And first one out of the pits in the Force India is Max Till, so he's the first one out track, and he is on to the medium tyres, closely followed by Lucas in the McLaren, and there's a few other drivers heading out onto track as well. There's Alex in the Red Bull, so plenty of drivers heading onto track already, and it'll be interesting to see how things are going. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously the Reynolds are in prime position, obviously after their early start to the season in Melbourne, and it'll be interesting to see if anyone can take the fight to the pair of them tonight, Schnitzel and Jarno. I said Dominic because I was looking at the forum earlier on, but there you go. We've got quite a lot of drivers out onto the track, and we're going to see who's going to be the first one to set a lap. It looks like it's going to be Lucas, who's just passed the Force India of Max Till. They are coming towards the end of sector number 2 and into sector 3, and a few people have left the session there. I'm sure they'll hopefully be able to get back in before long. But what we're going to do just now is we're going to take a lap on board with the McLaren of Lucas, take you round the Sakir International Circuit. He comes out of the final corner onto the power, and the DRS is going to be open now onto the start and finish straight, up to over 200 plus miles an hour, heading down towards turn number 1. Decides to stay in 7th gear, hits the brakes around about the 100 metre point, down to first gear, 40 miles an hour on the apex, quickly up to second to eliminate wheel spin through turn 2 and 3. Car to the right staying out of the way is Clarkie's Red Bull as we head up towards turn number 4. Tricky turn, using as much of the width for the track as possible to narrow the entry, running a bit wide on exit there, but getting good traction on the way out as well. And then through this tricky downhill SE section, very fast part of the track, and then again late onto the brakes, clip the apex nicely in second, quickly up to third gear to eliminate wheel spin into one of the hardest corners on the calendar, turns 9 and 10, braking and downshifting and turning all in one go. Lucas done a very good job through there, and onto the back straight with DRS for the second time in this lap, heading up towards turn number 11, the uphill section. Now again using as much of the width for the track as possible, heading up the hill now towards the end of sector number 2 to turn 13 and coming up to turn 14, and this is an important corner as well. Third gear, quickly back up to 4th, a little bit of a drift there on exit, and then down this long straight. No DRS down this one, it's only down the back straight and the front straight, looking for the braking into the final corner, turn 14 and then 15, which isn't even really a corner, and then he heads for pit lane. So he's decided he doesn't enjoy that lap, and he's decided to bank out on that. So that's first lap then is for Maxtel on the medium tyres, a 1:28.825 there from the Force India. So that is the first lap time on the board. His teammate Davidos there on there. The next one across the line, here we go. It is Williams Jim Roy across the line in the Super Sauce on a 1:26.685, 2 seconds clear, and that shows you the difference that the super soft tyres have over the medium tyres as well. It looks like there's a shout in the chat there though from Demon saying that the lobby is being restarted, and B Colt saying, can we have a commentator that speaks English please? I'm Scottish, it's not quite the same, and my dialect can be a bit much, I do understand. I will do my best, but it is going to be a restarted lobby, so we're going to just wait a wee moment's time there while everybody just gets the new invites and we get changed over. Lovely start to the evening. Technical issues already, so obviously those that dropped out of the session that we've seen towards the start, they are unable to get back in, causing a max problem. And Demon saying errors on invites, so rejoining back, so anyone trying to get back in can't. So that's what's caused the problem. So those that fell out couldn't get back into the session. Cookie Game saying, I love the Scottish accent. Thank you. It's nice to know I've got someone who supports me on my first time here in F1. I will do my best to make sure everyone can get through the language barrier through the night. So while we wait on this lobby being restarted, we're just waiting on everybody getting the message and the invite. And hopefully won't be too long before we can get this race night and qualifying back underway. You can see a lot of people starting to leave the session already, so I'm just going to wait here at the moment and wait for the invite rather than leaving you with a blue screen. Quite a few people, as well as my girlfriend who's watching as well, giving me the support in the chat, so thank you very much. I always enjoy the support. I will be honest, I'm a little bit nervous doing this tonight. First time in the top tier and running it alone, so bear with me. Do my absolute best. But yeah, we're getting a restart here, so that is why there's no real action going on the track just now, so bear with us, and we're going to have the new session set up in just a moment. I'm just going to take a wee moment time to calm myself down after that initial burst of energy. I'll be back in just a moment. So it would seem at the moment, although I'm getting the word off a restarted lobby, that some of the people haven't got the word, as Jarno's just put himself onto what would have been provisional pole on the Super Softs in his Renault, a 1:25.7. So although we're waiting for this restart lobby, this has given us a bit of an indication already of what some of the early pace times for qualifying are likely to be. You can see Schnitzel there up in third place on the medium tyres as well, so will be interesting. There is the invite, so screen's going to go blue for just a moment and I'll be as quick as I can. So there we are, back into the new lobby now that it's been set up, and hopefully we can continue the rest of the evening without any issues going forward. Smash getting the wrong split, looking for Curly's first race on a pad. I'm sure you'll be able to find the right one later on. This is tier 1. Thaler saying earlier on about the Scottish dialect that he finds it hard to understand Gary Anderson. I'll give you that one. The Flying Scotsman is quite a tricky person to understand, so hopefully I can do a better job than that for you. I'm all for fun and games. take a bit of a banner, so don't worry about it. It's all good fun. As long as you guys are entertained by what you see on the screen and what I am saying as well, then that is all that matters to me. And that might sound cheesy and corny, but it's the absolute goddamn truth. So all the drivers should hopefully be in pretty quickly to this lobby, and we can get straight back out onto the track as well. Ozzy saying, anyone have weird audio? If anyone does, please let me know, because it doesn't sound too bad on mine. Commentary a bit crackly. Let me just see here. If it does play about, please let me know in the chat. I've got my good lady helping me out as well. Let me know of things. Always good at supporting me. So do let me know if anything gets really bad. If it is just the odd little bit or piece now and again, then don't worry. So that can happen sometimes with me. It's a lot better than what it used to be last season. I had multiple issues. I'm hoping those are now behind me for moving forward. We had 17 drivers in the first lobby, we've got 16 in this one at the moment, so just waiting on the one more. So everybody giving the shouts of Vamos Frank and everything else moving forward. No issues for F2 at least. Well, unless Ollie's able to get back, F2 might not actually have any commentary tonight, by the looks of it, because there's no one to move around the way they've done things, but that could change, so please do not quote me on that one at the moment. I just know I won't be there. That's all I can say. Still a bit crackly, says Ozzy. I don't know, I'm going to try and stay still. I do obviously have a bit of a fan blowing behind me because it is absolutely roasting today, and being Scottish, I'm not good with the heat, so it might be that possibly just catching to the microphone. So if that's the case, it may be just me trying to keep cool. So it looks like we've got everyone back in, getting ready to rock and roll. Hopefully all the drivers starting to ready up, so that is good. Perfect, so I think it maybe just was the fan then, Ozzy, because I do have that blowing away in the background because it is a very warm day here, and as I say, I'm not very good with the heat at the best of times as it is, so if you do hear that during the night, that's probably what it is. If there's anything major though, do let me know, and I will do my best to try and resolve it as quickly as I possibly can during this night's proceedings. Obviously I'm running on my own, so it's a little bit trickier if anything does kick about, but hopefully we have no problems moving forward. The session is starting to ready up, so we're about to get the drivers back out onto the track, and we'll be able to get this session back underway, see who's going to take pole position here for the Bahrain Grand Prix this evening. Can TRL Schnitzel make it 2 out of 2, having taken pole last week in a wet qualifying session in Australia? So it'll be interesting to see if anyone, as I say, can take the fight to the Reynolds, who took a 1-2 podiums last week, so giving them a good lead in the Constructors' Championships. So let's see here as we're getting ready to rock and roll one more time, and hopefully this time we have no more problems moving forward. David Dawson in there said, see you in 18 minutes as I do my medium race stint and maybe some quali laps in the softs. I'm sure you'll do fine, my friend, I'm sure you'll do fine. Ozzy giving me a shout saying it's looking good, thank you very much for that. I do think it must be the fan then, so that's brilliant. So we're back out onto the track then, waiting on the drivers coming out of pit lane to restart qualifying. As mentioned earlier, super soft, soft and medium tyres, and obviously held under the lights here in the desert. The Bahrain Grand Prix has been a night race since 2014, which was the 10th year anniversary of the circuit first hosting F1, and it's been a night race ever since. The second night race, of course, on the F1 calendar after the Singapore Grand Prix, of course, and you can see the drivers starting to leave pit lane and head out onto track as well. And quite a lot of people going out already. First one out is the Williams of Michael, who picked up P3 last week in Australia. So he is the first one back out onto the track for this restarted qualifying session. We've got 18 minutes of qualifying ahead of us. 17 drivers. We'll try and go through and cover as many of them as possible during the stream and during the race as well. I will do my absolute best to keep up with the action, and hopefully we don't miss any of the good stuff as we go through the race. But the Williams will be the first one to go around, and on the super soft tyres as well. And the race strategy will be interesting. Be interested to see. You could get a mix here of 1 and 2 stop strategies to my experiences. If you're going to go 1 stop, it's got to be either the soft or the mediums that you start on and then switching to the other later on, but you do run the risk of a puncture towards the end of the race. Of course, 2 stops, you won't need to worry too much about tyre wear unless you're extremely heavy on the tyres and your setup. So it'll be interesting to see who feels which is quicker as the evening goes on. But Williams Elf is going to be the first one to go across the line. I'm just going to see who else. Got a few still in the pits at the moment. There we go, and it was Michael I was following. I'm still realising which one they are. 50% race, yes it is. Got a few shouts in the chat for the Williams boys, so we'll see how they go. Michael is the first one who will set a lap time if he crosses the line, of course, when he comes back around on this new session. We did see, though, before the end of that session, switching to the new lobby, Jarno did set a 125, I think it was a 125.8 if I remember, on the super soft tyres. So that's the kind of benchmark that we're looking for, somewhere in the sort of mid 125s, possibly even low 25s if someone really hooks it up for pole position if you're running on the softs. Super softs, but I do expect to see quite a few people running for the more alternate race strategy as we go along. But here comes Michael down the back straight here. DRS, of course, is open during this part here down this straight, and looking for the braking zone. You can see just extending the track as much as he can without getting a warning and an invalidation. Up the hill, I've lost the car so many times coming up this hill, it is unreal, and it's so easy to do, I think, sometimes. But then again, I'm a commentator, not a racer. Coming down the back straight now towards 15 and 16, sorry. And we'll see what sort of lap time the Williams driver can set. Everybody but Ruben and Casper, who I know very well from F2 last season, are out on track. They're the only 2 still in the pits. And Michael goes across the line, invalidated lap time, unfortunately, but it was in the 125s, but that is not what he wants. There is last week's race winner coming through the tricky turn 9 and 10 just now. Alvaro Anzar in the Red Bull in the medium tyres, 127.4, as Jarno's getting a slipstream off of one of the Force Indias up ahead. That is Maxtel, and not able to get a lap in there, invalidated as Maxtel went into second. Jim Roy in the other Williams has put himself into pole position, so decent lap time there from him on the super softs, 127.3. Then again, on the super softs, I expect that to be a bit of a banker lap. Alex has put himself into fourth, as Frosty in the Salba, 127.2 on the medium tyres, as the lap time chart starts to tumble like an absolute fruit machine. As there you go, last week's race winner Schnitzel on a 26.6 on the medium tyres. That looks a pretty decent lap time for the hardest compound, in my opinion. We'll need to see how that one pans out as we go by. Lee Finley's invalidated during that lap time as he's just crossed the line. Jarno trying again. Here comes Clarkey across the line. He's just starting his flying lap just now, and Michael possibly heading back to pit lane, I would see, but interesting to see if he does or not. Casper has now made it out of pit lane, so Ruben is the only driver still in the pits, although Lucas and Nico have came back in, and there goes Michael into pit lane. Demon's put himself up into 8th, 1.5 seconds down on the medium, so the only driver at the moment is Michael on the super softs that set a lap time on those red mark tyres. Everyone else going for the mediums at the moment, looking to play possibly the long game in terms of strategy in the race. Maybe look and see how things go during this qualifying session, get a banker lap in early doors and see what happens. Jarno's heading back to pit lane after his run on the super sauce. Here comes Lee Findlay coming towards the end of his lap in the Haas, and he is on the medium tyres as well. This is his second fast lap as well. He got an invalidation last time by yellow flag up ahead there. Unsure who that is, but they seem to be out of the way now, maybe just running slowly towards the end of the last sector. Here comes the Scotsman now. He's very well known in F2 for not being able to keep quiet when he's in an interview. He says far too much sometimes. And a decent lap time there, 4 temps down, 1:27.0, but that again is on the medium tyres for the Haas, so he'll be pretty happy with that at the moment. His teammate Casper, who was second in F2 last season, he's just lining up for a lap just now as Clarkey puts himself up into third place, half a second down on Schnitzel's pole time. So it's still the Australian Grand Prix winner in pole position at the moment, with 1:26.6 on the medium tyres. Only Alvaro Anzar and Alex have set lap times on the super soft tyres, I think. Nope, sorry, I've got it mixed up. It's only Jim Roy who's set a lap time on the super soft, so I've got myself a little bit mixed up there, do apologise. And only 10 drivers at the moment have set a lap time. Davidos is coming towards the end of a lap just now, so we'll just follow the pole through the final 2 corners. Well, it's basically just 1 corner, as I said earlier. And Force India heading towards the line. Can the Pink Panther get into the top 10? And nope, that was actually an out lap. I got mixed up one more time, so I'm getting terrible at this. So there you go. I'll get there. Ruben has exited the pit lane in the Ferrari, the sole Ferrari here this evening, so only one prancing horse out in the desert running through, as Frosty's just put himself up into second place, only a quarter of a second down on Schnitzel's time, and that again is on the medium tyres. Paris has just crossed the line in the Toro Rosso, and he's half a second down on mediums as well, so he'll be pretty happy with that initial banker sort of lap that he's done there. Davidos is trying again. Where is Casper in terms of a lap? He's coming towards the end of the sector now. You can see Alvaro Anzar in the background warming his tyres up. What can the young Dutchman do? Can he make it? Looks like he's locked up there. Maybe just backed out of that lap. Yeah, the battery's turned right down, so he's maybe made an error and decided to just ramp it up one more time. So this won't be representative of what he can do. Michael's out on the track as well, coming towards the end of his out lap, so he's about to go for a flyer just now. Lucas is warming up, Ruben's out there as well, so a lot of drivers at the moment out on out laps, possibly on in laps as well. You can see Paris has got the fuel light flashing away there, so we'll keep an eye on what things are. But only one driver on super soft so far. We'll have a look at the fitted tyres now, and you can see we're getting a little bit more of a change now. Lee Finley's in the pit, so he's looking at super softs. Alvaro is on super softs. Max Till might be going for softs. Alex is on super softs, but still a major raft of medium tyred runners out there at the moment, as Jim Roy comes across the line and puts himself into 6th place there, and 1:27 that was. Not too bad a lap time there, but he looks like he might be lining up again. Plenty of battery life left in that Williams, and we'll see what he can do. Jarno is looking to try and go one better than last week and take the victory this time out, having been second last time, and that was Ruben 9 seconds down, so definitely not representative from the Spaniard, and he will try again, I'm sure, on those mediums. There is Nico in the Mercedes. He's trying to get his first lap on the board as well. We'll just come back to Michael in the Williams, coming towards the end of the final sector just now, taking as much liberties with the track limits as the game will allow him. A little bit of a drift out of the corner. 1:26.6 to beat. What can he do? It's a 26.9, so he moves up into 3rd place. Decent lap time there on the medium tyres. We'll see if he can improve on that later on with 8.5 minutes still to go. We've got Nico coming through the final sector just now, and there goes Jarno across the line, just catching him crossing over into what was 3rd position. It's now 4th because Lucas on a 26.4 on the mediums has just put himself onto medium provisional pole position, sorry. So good lap times there. We're getting some really quick lap times on these medium tyres, so need to keep an eye out for that. Here comes Nico, last driver that's not set a lap time yet. He crosses the line, puts himself onto the cusp of the top 10, and then gets instantly kicked out by Alex on the super softs in the Red Bull. So Nico popped down to 11th and then down to 12th. As Schnitzel puts himself, no, he was still second, so someone else has jumped up there that I didn't quite catch on the screen, so that's not too good. This is Thomas in the chat. Is this Xbox? No, this is PS4, my friend. Xbox top tier will start at 9 o'clock for the top tier. The other tiers will be 8 o'clock. Coming up, but this is PlayStation 4. This is the top tier of the hype energy leaks with Apex Online Racing, and at the moment there is your provisional pole sitter in the McLaren, the number 88 car. On the medium tyres it is Lucas, 26.4 his lap time just under 2 tenths clear of Schnitzel in second. Frosty's in third. He's now gone to a set of soft tyres, but as you can see, everybody except for Alex has done a lap on the medium tyres, their best lap times on the hardest compound. So looking towards the race for moving forward. Paris in the chat saying Demon is first in the speed trap, so maybe running a lower downforce setup. Actually, no, wait a minute, you've just pulled my absolute chain there, haven't you? No, he's there he is. I thought he wasn't there, couldn't see him. I thought you were having me on there, Paris, but there you go. No, Demon is in 11th, so maybe running a lower downforce setup to try and help him through the race. Yeah, he is fair, he's down there. Not too great, I'm just missing things, but I'll get it. So 6.5 minutes to go. I'm just trying to see if anyone is on a lap at the moment. In fact, Lee Findlay was. I was just trying to get to him and he jumped up to second. Getting told Schnitzel's in 17th. Okay, so am I getting the false information on the screen? Well, that's absolutely hunky-dory if that's the case. We'll soon see. Need to wait to the end of this. I'll go with what's on the screen and I'll go with what I have there, and hopefully everything pans itself out. If there is some changes going on that I'm unaware of, we shall see. But I have Lucas at the top at the moment from Lee Findlay, Schnitzel, Frosty and Jim Roy rounding out your full top 5. Everybody has set a lap time, and according to my timings, all within 1.3 seconds. Oh, in the speed trap, Paris, right? You had me confused, my friend. I don't know where. I don't have that information to hand. Come on now. Right, that's pretty interesting then. If then Schnitzel's like down in 17th and Lucas in 13th in the speed traps, and yet first and third in the standings. So that's pretty interesting. No, thank you for that there, Paris, and for clarifying it as well. I thought I was seeing information you guys weren't there for a second, so I do apologise. Got that all mixed up. 5 minutes to go here in qualifying, and it is Lucas and Paul from Lee Findlay on super softs, and Schnitzel that you're watching just now in third on the mediums. Steve Frosty is on his outlap at the moment, it says, and he's in 4th. Jim Roy 5th. A lot of drivers back in pit lane, and I'm expecting to see quite a few more of them heading back and putting on a fresh set of rubber. Ruben is going slow. I think Ruben's run that Ferrari completely dry. He is coasting round in 3rd gear, so has he made an error when it comes to filling that car up? That might cost him time. Later on in the session, he might not get the ideal track position that he wants to have later on. You can see now on the screen when I change it to fitted tyres, a huge raft of yellow soft tyres show up on the screen, so it would seem to be that a lot of people are heading for that strategy of going for soft to mediums during the race. Rubens managed to crawl back to pit lane, so that leaves Max Till, the only driver out on track just now. And just looking at the chat, Detainable, is that the best? That's the best laps he's seen on mediums. Well, these guys are the best on console, and you wouldn't expect anything less out of them, to be perfectly honest. And if you can look at their top 17, the full grid covered by 1.3 seconds, so absolutely phenomenal stuff. We're going to be in for a heck of a race based on all of this, but now it's a slight bit of a calm before the storm as we await everybody jockeying for position, finding space on the track and looking to find that ultimate lap to put it on pole position here in Bahrain. Who's your money on? If you're in the chat, who do you fancy for pole position? Lucas has got it at the moment. Max Till did put himself up into second with his latest lap time on the soft tyres as well as he heads back to pit lane, so you'll need a quick turnaround if he wants to get another lap time in. Lee Finley's on third on the super softs on his best lap time. He's going to try and do a better lap on the softs. Schnitzel in fourth. Frosty in fifth, who's on track at the moment and currently on a flying lap, I do believe, and we'll see what the Salbot driver can do. Finished P4 last week in Australia. He'll be hoping to go better and get himself onto the podium, get a taste of that champagne this evening, although then again it is Bahrain, it would be Rosewater of course in the Gulf state, so we'll see what can be done. He's actually warming up, so nobody really on a flyer at the moment. They're all just kind of getting themselves ready to get things moving, and as more drivers head out of pit lane. There's only 4 drivers in the pits as Jim Roy starts his latest flying lap attempt in the Williams. You got a little bit of traffic. Look at the cars weaving, Red Bull and the Renault there. Renault stays out of the way, the Red Bull able to get through turn 4, so Michael's okay at the moment as Davidos puts himself up into 5th place in the Force India. So brilliant lap time means the entire field covered by a second now, so that is unbelievable speed from everybody at the moment. I'll just keep it on the fitted tyres for the meantime. Let's see if we work our way through. Schnitzel's just came round to start a lap. Frosty is coming towards turns 9 and 10 very shortly. Jim Roy will be doing the exact same thing, so I'm just trying to see who's maybe coming towards the end of a lap. That's what I'm trying to find out. Here we go, Demon is coming towards the end of a lap, but he's got his battery full, so that is an out lap for the McLaren. Possibly, yeah, we've got Nico coming to the end of a lap. He's in the Mercedes, he's got the battery on charge up mode, so he's absolutely flying down the back straight in the Mercedes. Nearly got himself a victory in F2 last season in Brazil, but just missed out after a change in the stewards. And he comes across the line 15th at the moment. Provisional pole position for the Mercedes, a 126.3 on the medium tyres, instantly beaten by Jim Michael in the Williams with a 126.1. So the lap times are starting to tumble. Here comes Lucas into the final corner now. What can the McLaren driver do? We're down to the last 43 seconds. Frosty has put himself up in the second at the moment. Can Lucas improve? Pole position at the moment for the McLaren, a 125.7 from him, so brilliant lap time there as Lee Finlay goes across the line but unable to make any difference. He's actually on his out lap at the moment. There goes Schnitzel. It's tumbling very quickly here in the late stages, but 1/10 down for the Australian Grand Prix winner. Alvaro Anzar puts himself into 5th in the Toro Rosso. Just try and see who else is coming towards the finish line. Here comes Paris in the Toro Rosso, so he's coming towards the end of a lap time now. And the timesheets are definitely lighting up now, and it's a raft of soft tyres as well, so looking towards the race as well. The checkered flag is out. Here comes Paris towards the line. Can he improve in 13th place? He does, up to 10th, just inside the top 10 at the moment for the Toro Rosso. Jarno's coming towards the end of sector 3, as is Alex. Demon's coming down the back straight. He's got the Mercedes there coming through as well. That is Nico coming through there. I believe he's actually disappeared off my standings. Where's he gone? Well, Clarence decided not to bother though, so he's backed out. So where is Jarno? There he is, the Renault coming through the final corner now. Alex is just ahead of him, so can he improve on P14 at the moment? Does he go up higher on the standings? He does, into 7th for the Red Bull. Jarno's put himself up into 2nd. Schnitzel's still coming through sector 2. Michael's given up in the lap. Frosty's still coming round. Where is Davidoff? He's slowed down as Lee Finlay. It's jumping about everywhere. He puts himself up into 5th position as Jim Roy comes towards the final couple of corners now. He's on his quick lap here. No, he's actually not. He's heading for pit lane. That's a slow lap there as Ruben jumps up to 12th on his final lap. Casper heads for the line now. Can he? It is, but only up to 13th place. Nico finished up in 8th. Frosty's headed for pit lane. Schnitzel slowed down, and Davidos is running slow as well. So that is your grid order, and it is Lucas in the McLaren who takes pole position here for the Bahrain Grand Prix. 1/10 clear of Jarno in 2nd in the Renault. Schnitzel takes 3rd in the other yellow and black machine, with Jim Michael 4th and Lee Finlay and 5th. I'll run you through the full standings in just a moment's time, but the top 10 covered by just 7/10 of a second. We are going to be in for an extremely close race here, and don't go anywhere because it is coming to you very, very shortly indeed. I'm just going to have a quick look through the chat and just see what I can see, because I've seen quite a lot of messages dropping in that I couldn't quite see. A few people, Clarky saying he got blocked in qualifying, Yavi's saying S2V for the win, Demon invalidated both soft laps. Plenty going on out there. Big C quali bottles are back, then shouting for Lee Finlay. Davidos getting P11 from Big C as well, mentioning plenty going on there, but it is pole position for Lucas in the McLaren. Puts himself in the prime position for the race, and I'll just let the screen load up and I'll run you through the full grid order. So there you go, Lucas in pole position, a 125.7. 1/10 clear of the Dutchman Jarno in second. Schnitzel, his teammate, in third. Jim Michael in fourth. Lee Finlay, the Scotsman, takes fifth. Frosty in the Salba takes sixth. Alvaro Anzar in 7th for Toro Rosso, Nico in 8th for Mercedes, Alex in 9th for Aston Martin Red Bull Racing, and rounding out the top 10 is Max Till in the Force India. All the top 10 setting their best times on the soft tyres. Davidos just missing out by the skin of his teeth in 11th, and I missed out on the rest of them because I was taking far too long to read through them, but I will go catch everybody and we'll see what tyres those outside the top 10 start on as well in just a moment's time. I would expect to see soft and mediums. I would be extremely shocked to see someone starting on the super soft tyres, but you never know. Someone might spring a surprise, maybe hope for a safety car or something. You never know. F1 backwards is F, so you know, you never know what can happen in F1. I'm just going to go silent for a wee second. Nothing's going wrong. I need a bit of refreshments before this race starts, so give me a second, I'll be right back. So formation lap is now underway. Let's have a look at the tyres on each of the cars. So the top 10 obviously starting on the tyres they qualified on, all on the yellow marked soft tyres, and as expected, no surprises. Everyone else kind of following the expected pattern. Davidos, Ruben, Casper. I'll just go to them. There you go, the Force India. Davidos, Ruben in the Ferrari, Casper in the Haas. We've got Paris in the Toro Rosso and Jim Roy in the Williams, all on the mediums. Demon in the McLaren has gone for the mediums as well, and Clarkey has decided to go for the soft tyres, so hoping the extra grip off the line will help him make a few places down into turn 1, possibly in the Red Bull. If you're in the chat there, thank you for joining us on this Sunday evening for Tier 1 on the PlayStation 4 Round 2 Season 17 of the Hype Energy F1 2018 Leagues on Apex Online Racing. Who's your money on for this race? You've got Lucas on pole, you've got Jarno and Schnitzel and the Reynolds in second and third. Obviously Schnitzel won last week, Jarno took second, and you've got Michael in there who took the final podium spot in Australia in fourth. So it's all pretty close indeed up towards the front, and only 7 times covered the top 10 in qualifying, so this is going to be an absolute barnstormer of a race as they come through the final few corners now. The Renault and the Williams getting a bit stuck up there, so we'll just ignore that happened. Let's see, Big C saying Jarno for the win, so he's the first one to nail his flag to the mast, and he is going for the Renault driver who's just been announced this week for Renault's eSport team for the upcoming F1 eSport series as well, so congratulations to him on that position. And he'll be looking to round off a great week with victory here this evening as well. Smoking Skills going for Schnitzel, so we get some love for both of the Renault drivers. Ash saying it should be interesting. Hello Ash, good luck with the race later on tonight in Tier 2. Sorry I can't be there. And Danny saying Davidos for the win. Well, you never know. He has shown some good pace at some times, but it's going to be a tricky one from back in 11th. He's going to need to hope he gets misses out on any damage in the early stages and makes up a few places. So here we go, getting ready for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. We've got 29 laps ahead of us here. Try and get a camera angle that looks half decent. 5 red lights are on. Number 2 is underway. Let's see who's getting a good start. Looks like Schnitzel's managed to get a decent jump there, possibly on his teammate. Lucas goes to the inside to defend, down towards turn number 1. Jarno's going up the inside there. We're going to be nearly 3 wide into turn 1, and there's going to be plenty of action behind. We'll keep our eyes in the front here. Descent going on between the Williams and the Renault. That's not too good, and they managed to break out, and Michael gets clear of Schnitzel, who's lost a couple of places there, so that's not ideal for him. But through into turn number 4, Lucas holds the lead. Jarno's in second, Michael up to third. Lee Finley's held 5th. Down back there, we've got nearly 3 wide into turn 6 between Nico and Frosty there, with Alvaro Anzar sticking by in 8th. Got Max Till in 9th, Alex in 10th, and Schnitzel's just sneaked up the inside, still stuck together with that Williams. I'm going to jump away from that, we'll ignore that for the moment. That's definitely not what's happening, I'm sure, on screen, and it looks like Schnitzel's managed to get that position back from the Williams driver. So the top 5 is how they are, as Davidos fighting with Alex down there just outside the top 10. Ruben's already made up 2 places, as has Roy in the other Williams. Alex gone down 2 places, but most of the field holding station in the early parts of lap number 1 as he comes through turns 11 and 12 up towards the top of the hill and down towards the end of the lap for the first time at 29. And it is Lucas in the lead by 6/10 from Jarno in 2nd, Schnitzel in 3rd, Michael in 4th, Lee Finlay 5th, and Frosty in 6th. So the top 6 as they were on the grid. Nico's made up a place in 7th at the expense of Alvaro in the Toro Rosso, who's dropped down to 8th. Max Till in 9th, and Ruben round out the top 10 as they come powering down the front straight for the first time. And is anyone going to have a go into turn number 1? Terrible camera angle one more time. It doesn't want to skip. It's when I want it to. Nico's still there trying to see if he can do anything on the back of the Salva. Frosty there up ahead, but pretty much as you were. He looks to the inside into turn 4, but he's just trying to fill the mirrors of the Salva. Meanwhile, down the field, Paris is getting, oh goodness me, Paris nearly in the middle of a sandwich there between Clarkey and Casper. Casper got through on the Toro Rosso. Now the 2 sister cars are going to have a fight with each other through turns 5 and 6 and down the hill to 7. And unfortunately for Paris, he's lost out there. Jim Roy's managed to get by on Dawados, so that's for 12th as he tries to make his way up through the field. And up front here, Michael still trying to keep close to the back of Schnitzel in the Renault as they come towards the end of lap number 2. DRS will be enabled this time by after they finish this lap, so the next time down that straight they'll have the assist to help them to overtake. And Lee Finlay though has got to be careful. He's nearly a second off of Michael ahead, and he's going to get himself out of DRS range shortly if he is not careful, and that could cause problems later on in the race for him. So that's something you want to address extremely quickly if he wants to keep up with them. Lucas setting the fastest lap second time by, but look down the field, that is Davidos running a bit wide there in the Force India. There is the race control, DRS enabled, and Demon, who I've not got what happened to Demon, but unfortunately he's well off the pace down the field, so he is dropping down and he's 40 seconds down from the lead, and that's not what he would have wanted at this early stage. Lucas has got himself a second clear of the chasing pack, Jarno in 2nd and his teammate in 3rd, so that's pretty decent for him as they come up to the DRS point for the first time along the back straight at the ends of turn 9 and 10. And we're just looking back through the field, trying to keep an eye on everything. You can see Nico getting very close to the back of Frosty's Salba there as he come through the tricky hairpin. Now up to turn 9 and 10, one of the most difficult corners in the F1 calendar. I think Frosty's gone for a move there by the looks of it on the Haas. Lee Finlay nearly looked like they might have contacted, but the front wing on that Salba looks okay at the moment, and the Salva trying to make its way through but unable to do so, and Frosty needs to be careful because Nico will be picking up the scraps if there's any issues with those guys. Alvaro's nearly dropped off the back of him as well. Max Till's a second behind as well, so he's out of DRS range, and he's going to have Ruben and Alex in the back of him before very much longer. But we come back up to the front, that's who I was looking for. It's Lucas coming across the line in the lead, but he's lost half a second in that lap. He was a second clear last time by, and he's now in DRS range for Jarno, so he's going to be at danger here out front. He's going to need all the ERS he can get. He's trying to charge it up, he's got it turned down to 0, you can see. Excuse me, as Jarno looked to the inside there. Lee Finlay has had to defend from Frosty there, kept the position just going into turn number 1, but Frosty looking a lot more feisty at the moment. DRS assisting him as well, but he's got Nico behind. Look how close the Salba gets to the back of that Haas going through turn number 4 as they head through 5, down the hill of 6 and 7 towards turn 8 at the hairpin. You can see the leaders there coming through pretty much nose to tail almost as they go through there, and look down the field, there is Ruben trying to get through on the Force India and Max Till. He's got the Red Bull behind him as well. It'll be interesting to see what goes on, because they're on the medium tyres, so I'm going to change it back to the tyres. There we go. So there's your tyres. Most people on the softs. You can see those at the back obviously started on the mediums. Ruben's the highest medium tyred runner at the moment, and at the moment that puts him 6 seconds down on the lead, so that's not too bad in this early stage. We're hoping to stay as close as possible and try and make positions up later on in the race. But we come back to the front of the field, where Lucas is going to have to defend one more time down towards turn 1 from the DRS enabled Reynolds. Michael's dropped off by by a second and a half from these guys, and you can see Lee Finley's having to defend in the background, so we've got a couple of battles going on. Jarno's looking to the inside, just filling the mirrors though. Is Lee Finley able to defend on Frosty? He can do. Nico trying to fill the mirrors off the Salba, unable to do so. Alex sneaks by with DRS on Ruben, had that done well before the apex there, so looks like DRS working very nicely for the Red Bull, puts him into the final points paying position at this point in time. But the leaders come through turn 4 and up towards 5 and 6 down the hill. That is the Australian winner, Schnitzel, in third place at the moment, just following his teammate through this tricky section. But Lucas at the moment keeping it steady, keeping it good. He's picking his points where he's using his ERS. He knows obviously he's at a disadvantage. He's jumping up through the gears to avoid wheel spin, to get the best traction out the corners. He's doing everything he needs to do, and at the moment he's keeping those yellow and black machines at bay, and that's exactly what he needs to be doing just now. But the field is still extremely close. The top 16, the only driver that's tailed off is Demon. The top 16 though are covered by 12 seconds at the moment. Around about 20 to 22 seconds for a pit stop. So that's going to mean if you make a pit stop at the moment, you're going to be a little bit off the back, but it's still early days. It's going to be a wee while yet before we see the pit stop phase. Meanwhile, those Reynolds are looking a lot closer to each other. Never mind to the back of that McLaren, and Schnitzel might fancy a move on his teammate Jarno going down to turn 1. He's closing all the time, but DRS for the other Renault ahead, just filling the mirrors again in a McLaren, but they follow each other through nose to tail one more time. There you can see Frosty up the inside of the Haas of Lee Finley into turn number 1, but then the switch back through 2 and 3, and the Haas holds on for now. We jump on board with the Salba as he heads up towards turn number 4, and no, unable to do anything at the moment. Holds position there. Max still in 9th. Alex still holding off Ruben in 10th. For 10th and 11th, you can see Jim Roy there onto the back of that Ferrari as well, coming through turn 6, 7 and down towards turn number 8, and very close to hitting the back of that Scarlet machine there. A little lock of the brakes from the Williams, but nothing too major at this. A bit of a train coming up behind the Spaniard at the moment. There you can see, in fact behind Alex, in fact, in the Red Bull. They've dropped a second off up ahead, as you can see Frosty there trying to make a move, but Alex has got Ruben, Roy, Davidos, Casper, Clarkey all pretty much nose to tail behind him, so he's going to have to be very careful because he's no longer in DRS range off the car ahead, and that means that he's not going to have the assist. Michael has dropped 2.6 seconds down on this battle for the lead. The top 3, the pace is relentless up front. 29.7 from Lucas, 1 minute 32, 1 minute 30. Fastest laps from the 2 Reynolds. Michael's done a 32 as well, but not able to do anything. Nothing going on with the leaders. Can Frosty do anything with Lee Finley coming down to turn 1? But the Haas has got DRS to help him as well. Nico pretty much pushing the Salba through turn number 1 there, but no dice for any of them at the moment, and it's still pretty much as you were. Casper having a battle there with Clarkey, but Clarkey unable to get the move done into turn 1, and he'll need to follow the young Dutchman one more time. Schnitzel's no, sorry, that's the leader there, sorry, I'm in the wrong standings. Jarno though looking to try and do anything on Lucas, but the McLaren is looking very good at the moment out in front. Big C saying Michael is on his old wheels, so that's probably playing a part. It could be playing a big part. It's obviously, it's almost like an extension of yourself, your wheel, and if you have to use an older one you're not comfortable with, that can make a big difference to how it feels on the track and how comfortable you feel driving along. That's allowed Lee Findlay to close up to the back of the Williams driver, so we've got 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th all in pretty much nose to tail as well, coming through towards the final couple of corners. So plenty of battles going on. A lot of cars still very close together. There's another train worth. That is from 10th down to 15th. So we've got the lead train of 3, and then we've got another train from 4th down to 8th, and then a final train from 10th down to 15th, and the lead lot not really doing anything at the moment. So we come back to this battle behind them into turn number 1. Frosty's going up the inside. We're on board with the Salva driver. A little bit of a lock-up as he goes through, but Lee Finlay again able to hold the position on the outside. Got the inside for 2, better traction on the way out, and holds on to that position one more time. Ruben fancied these chances but couldn't get past on Alex, but now he has to defend from Jim Roy, who's trying to try and go a long way round turn number 4, and they're touching wheel to side pod there, the Ferrari and the Williams. It's the 1990s all over again, and the Williams is going to try its best to get round the outside through 6 and 7. Good driving from both of them. Ruben had to go a bit off track there as he just got a bit wide, but that has put Roy through, and Davidos, very opportunistic, goes round the outside of Ruben into the hairpin of turn 8 and steals 12th place. Ruben dropping a couple of places there in a matter of corners. Losing out there to Jim Roy and Davidos, and he's now got the attentions of Casper in behind him. Penalties at the moment, I didn't see any so far, Jesper, so I don't think anybody does at the moment. Running solo, so it's kind of hard for me to go and check without cutting away from the action. I'll try my best if I see any to pop up later on and take note of them. But this train is still going to continue on. Alex, Jim Roy, Davidos, Ruben, Casper, Clarkey. Paris has dropped off the back of that on his medium tired Toro Rosso. The lead 3 are still pretty much nose to tail and happy to do as they're doing. Yano just making sure Lucas knows he's there, just filling the mirrors, and Lee Finlay keeping Frosty at bay at the moment. Frosty keeping his attacks under ice at the moment, and yes, that pun was very much well intended as Casper, oh my goodness me, huge lock-up from the young Dutchman there, nearly went into the back of Davidos. It's cost him the place to Ruben, and he's dropped behind as well, so he's down to 15th now, so not great there. We move back up though because Alex is fighting off Roy, going into turn number 4, the two of them are touching, contact the wheels through the corner. The Red Bull's going to have the line. Can the Williams try anything through 5 and 6 and 7? And not able to do so, but Casper there, nearly flew into the back of Davidos' Force India, cost him 2 places to the Red Bull of Clarkey and Ruben there. Not good from the young Dutchman. You want to avoid doing that. Ruben picks up a 3-second time penalty, so that's the first one that I've noticed in the race. Make a quick note of that on the notepad. And we'll see if that comes into effect later on in the race for the Spaniard in the Ferrari. It's the only Ferrari running here tonight at Sakir. Schnitzel though is right onto the back of his teammate Jarno. He's making him aware he's there, and you wonder if maybe team orders might come into this in a wee moment if the Australian Grand Prix winner feels he's quicker than his teammate, and yeah, he's definitely going to get the move done quite easily, you'd imagine. Here it looks like Jarno maybe just struggling a little bit on the tyres, so he's going to let his teammate go and try and attack the McLaren as they head up towards turn 1. Nico has headed for pit lane, so that is the first pit stop, and it is for the Mercedes driver putting on the medium tyres. He does, as Roy's having to defend. In fact, he's just got by Alex, under DRS, so that's a move there for him up into 9th place. He's gained 6 places off the start, so really good moving his way through the field and on the medium tyres as well, so we'll keep an eye on his progress as we go on. Nico rejoins down in 16th place, 29 seconds off the lead. He was up in 7th place, so pit stop costing him around about 22 seconds as expected, and he drops down. He'll be looking to come back into things later on in the race. You can see Schnitzel trying. We've got a yellow flag actually in sector 2, and it's Ruben in the Ferrari, and he's retired. Carbon fibre across the track, missing front wing. He's had a moment down towards turn number 8, and that is the first retirement. The Spaniard out of the race, and hopefully that doesn't cause any problems with a safety car, because that car is still going round at the moment despite the fact the driver has DNF'd. And that is your first retirement from the race, so we're down to 16 from 17. And here comes Schnitzel in the Renault. We're on to lap 10 of 29. Where is the laps gone? It's flew by. And the race leader heads for pit lane. So Lucas into pit lane. He's decided to make the stop before the Renault boys. Jarno's going to follow him in though and stick with him as close as possible. So that promotes Lee Finlay up into second. Frosty up to third. Alvaro up to fourth. And we've got a flurry of pit stops now. Michael's in as well. Max Till's in. Alex in also. So we've got the pit stop phase well underway now here in Bahrain, and all going. Alex has gone, no, he's gone for medium tyres. I thought he was putting on super softs there. I was about to have an absolute heart attack. So we are now in the pit stop phase. Schnitzel takes the lead. He's got 5.3 seconds over Lee Finlay and Frosty, who are in second and third now, as Nico has gained some places back on Max Till and Alex as they come out of pit lane. Demon still running around at the back in 16th place. Didn't catch what happened to him earlier on, so if anyone in the chat does know, please let me know. I would love to know what happened to the McLaren driver, because that happened very early on in the race. Frosty is still trying. He's going to be sick at the back of that Haas. You're going to be knowing the intricacies of that gearbox very well by the end of this race. You've got to think though that these guys will be coming into pit lane before very long as well. Now that the most of the front runners came in, we've seen Lucas, he's came back out in 10th. He's 1.5 seconds clear of Jarno, who's came back out just behind him. Michael's behind him, and Nico's only 1.1 down on Michael. So keep an eye on how they come back through the field. And where is your race leader? So your race leader into pit lane, Lee Finlay into pit lane, Frosty into pit lane, Alvaro's into pit lane, so everyone into the pits, and that promotes Williams Jimroy into the lead of the race on his medium tyres, having started all the way down the field, and he now takes over the lead of the race. I want to know though, where is Lucas in comparison to Schnitzel coming out of pit lane? We're on board with the McLaren driver. Where is that yellow and black machine? Can we see it? There it is. It's coming out of pit lane, and it's going to work. The overcut is going to work actually. Pitting a lap later with fresh air has worked out an absolute treat at the moment for the Renault, but that McLaren's obviously got the tyres up to temperature and is going to attack coming down to turn 4. Has to swing to the outside, going to try and cut back and get better traction out of the corner, and he's going to try and see if he can make the move done before turn 6. They're side by side, and the McLaren slides through him back into the net lead of the race. Brilliant driving from both of them there. The overcut nearly worked for Schnitzel, but it is as you were before the pit stop phase, and these three nose to tail once again, currently for 5th, 6th and 7th. But that is pretty much the net lead of the race. Lee Finlay has came back out in front of Michael and also of Nico, who's gained up. So Nico's really gained nicely in this pit stop phase at the moment, because he was behind Alvaro earlier on, and Frosty, so they've lost out during this pit stop phase. That's worked out nicely there. Michael's dropped back during this pit stop phase, not working out for the Williams driver. And there goes Nico, going to try and go to the outside coming up the hill. Not really an overtaking point, but he looks a lot quicker at the moment on his medium tyres. He's been on them for 2 laps longer than the Haas, so they'll be up to temperature already. It's Jimroy released from Davidos by 3 seconds. Casper is just going to take over actually into second place now. DRS assisted into turn number 1, and here goes Schnitzel on Lucas down into turn number 1 with the DRS. The McLaren is pretty much defenceless, and Jarno is going to try and sneak through as well, but Lucas is going to have the line for turn 2 and 3. They're going to go side by side as they come up the hill towards turn number 4, and you can see the action going on behind as well as Lee Finlay and Nico fight. Can Lucas hold on, or is he going to lose 2 places in the space of the first sector? And he does. Both the Renaults have sneaked through on the McLaren, and that is not what they will be looking for, the Woken team. And the Papaya machine down to 7th place and a net P3 in the race. Nico has managed to get ahead. We just seen it in the background on Lee Findlay, and he got the move done into turn number 1. Michael couldn't follow him through. Frosty's just about there as well, and Alvaro Anza has dropped out of DRS, so he's going to have to contend with Max Till before very long. We'll see how things go very shortly. But Schnitzel now, having got that move done, and his teammates followed him, so 5th and 6th at the moment, but once they lead the top 4 pit, this is the top 3 in the race. That puts Nico into a possible net 4th and Lee Finlay net 5th at the moment. but we'll wait until the full pit stop cycles run out. Only the top 4 have yet to pit in this race, and you can see a little bit of a train coming up behind Nico. It's 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and then 12th, just out of shot, a second and a bit behind. So can Lee Finlay now, the Scotsman, repay the favour on Nico that Nico did last time by under DRS down into turn number 1, and it's going to be an easy slam dunk of a move. With DRS, you could give him a newspaper and a cup of tea before the braking zone and he'd be through and still up into 7th, 8th place. So that is a move there for position. Alex has just gone past his teammate. That's the 2 Red Bulls fighting over 14th and 15th further down the field. Frosty trying to do as much as he can on Michael, and Nico will try his best to get by on Lee Finlay one more time. But back up towards the front for now, because we've not seen many of these guys at the moment, because they started much further down the field. As you can see, the leader, Jim Roy, has gained 14 places, Casper up 11, Davidos up 8, and Paris, who's up 10 places in his Toro Rosso, but they have yet to stop in this race. So they are the only 4 yet to make a pit stop, as Ruben leaves the session, being the only retirement off the race so far. And it'll be interesting, you know, we're coming up to half distance now. Medium tyres should be able to go a wee bit longer before they need to pit, so if they were to pit sometime soon, if the gaps stay as they are, they'd come out behind Alvaro and Maxtel probably. It's around about 22 seconds for a pit stop, so Jim Roy would drop in somewhere around there, and the rest maybe in amongst where the battling Red Bulls are. We're keeping an eye here as Jarno has a think of having a move, and his teammate Lucas had a look as well. Nico has repaid the favour with another slam dunk under DRS on Lee Findlay to regain that place back, and you can see the entire field now on the medium tyres. That will change once the top 4 pit. I'd expect them to go into softs. Maybe someone might fancy their chances of super softs, you never know. We'll keep an eye on that. We've got plenty of battles through the field. It's been an exciting race so far. There's been plenty to talk about. Plenty of action, and it's been extremely interesting so far, and the strategies are still to fully play out. Who knows what those guys that haven't pitted, and especially maybe Roy up in the lead, could still be on for some decent points here. Obviously the medium tyres are going to go off before the end of the race. You can see these 4 and 5 actually, nearly 6 now, as Maxtel joins into the back of that as well, are pretty much coming up nose to tail almost down the back straight. The Renaults are pretty much running as they are, and they are catching up to the back of the top 4 as well. So you can see there, that was the Toro Rosso with Paris, and you got Davidos just ahead of that as well. So these guys haven't pitted. Pace is relentless from these 3, and they are closing in on those guys that haven't pitted yet. Schnitzel is 9.5 seconds off the lead of this race, having already made his pit stop. You can see Jarno there having a little look, but nothing to be doing. Lee Finlay now, 3rd time in a row, round 3, lights out, and it's another easy move under DRS, and I get the feeling Nico will be back for round 4 next time by, if they're still there and they come across the line. Francis saying please leave the lobby and come on F2. I'm here till the end of the race, I'm afraid, Francis. I'm sure you do absolutely fine. It's a shame Ollie's not around to take over, but I'll be back next week unless things change. I will be back next week, but I'm having fun doing F1. It's the first time, and running solo is a bit of a challenge on its own right as well, so good luck to you in the race. Good luck to everyone in F2 and all the others and all the other tiers as well, who are just about to start at 8 o'clock at the moment's time. Here we go though, that is Schnitzel and Jarno both getting past Paris. He's going to try and battle it back on Jarno, but they're on the fresher tyres. That Toro Rosso's done 15 laps on those medium tyres, and that's both the Renaults through. Lucas needs to try and get the move done as well as quickly as possible to stay with the lead pair in the black and yellow machines, and you get the feeling he's going to do it just now. Down the back straight, he's got the battery turned up to 5. He's in hot lap mode because he wants to stay as close as possible as he can, and he gets through Williams, Jim Roy into the pits, as is Casper, and if you look down the road, Davidos into the pits as well, and there goes Paris. So everybody has made a pit stop. Ash is shouting out for me in F2 F2 as well. If only I could do two things at once. Unfortunately, I can't split myself, or I would, because trust me, I would. I love commentating, it's absolutely brilliant. But anyway, the pit stop phase now underway. We'll see where those guys come out on the soft tyres. But Schnitzel takes over the lead of the race from Jarno in second, Lucas in third, Nico is now in fourth, having done round 4 down the front straight under DRS and Lee Finlay, who's in fifth, Michael in sixth, Frosty is in seventh, Alvaro Anzar in 8th, Maxtel in 9th, and having just came out the pit lane on a fresh set of soft tyres is Roy in 10th place. Casper just behind him in 11th. They have just pitted and they are about 15 seconds off the lead and on a fresh set of softer compound tyres, so there could be changes still afoot before long. I get more shouts for joining F2. Thanks guys, I'm enjoying the love, thank you. I'm sure you will be managing to do well without me here this evening as I do F1, but all the best to everybody, as I say, in all the tiers, but especially in F2, which is where I normally commentate on a Sunday night. But enjoying the love from you, thank you very much. It's nice to know I'm appreciated. But back to the action we do have here though on track. So we're on lap 17 of 29. We're coming in to the closing stages before long, and it is Schnitzel leading from Jarno in second, and a fastest lap of the race for Schnitzel there, 1:29.3 on the medium tyres. If you have a look, his teammate 1:29.39 and Lucas a 1:29.4, so those guys are pretty close together as Lee Finlay's done round 5 down the front straight with DRS. These two are just swapping and trading places as they come down the front straight under DRS, and that's the 5th time in a row that they swapped position in the last 5 laps. So Lee Finlay now finds himself back at the front of this train for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th with Frosty at the back of it. It's Alvaro Anzar just dropped off the back about nearly 2 seconds down now, and he's getting into a bit of no man's land. He's got a 2-second gap over Maxtel, who's in 9th, who's getting closed in pretty quickly by Roy in 10th on those new soft tyres, and Casper keeping close tabs as well on the back towards the Williams. He'll be trying to close that gap up. The two Red Bulls still having a fight as well. I'm sure with not being in the points, so without there's any team orders going on, they're pretty much on similar tyre life as well. 2 seconds, sorry. That's better. I didn't want to sneeze down the microphone, do apologise for that. So, coming to the end of lap 18, on to lap 19, so it'll be not long to go now, and this race is still anybody's guess. The top 3 have motored away and swapping fastest lap times. Jarno took it, then Lucas stole it back there, 29.2, so these guys are well clear up front. Here goes round number 6. Can Nico get the move done under DRS? He's a bit further back this time. He's going to make a harder work of it, but he's got the move done, and that's the 6th. Oh, look at that, and Michael tries to be opportunistic this time, since Nico took a bit longer to get by and nearly got through as well on Lee Finlay, but Nico makes the move and up into 4th place, and that's the 6th time in a row that they two have swapped places down the front straight. But now Michael and Frosty might fancy their chances of getting involved into that mix. Jim Roy is battling with Maxtel coming out of turn number 4. The fresh soft tyres are going to give much more grip for the Williams, and that's a move up into 9th place. Next target is that Toro Rosso there, going through turn number 8, 1.8 seconds up the road. We'll keep an eye on the progress of the Williams as we go through the closing stages of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Whew, I'm knackered. Good fun though. And Jarno has got out of DRS range nearly on Lucas, and that could be very important as we come into these final stages as well. That could really help the Renault drivers in their fight, because they're obviously leading the Constructors' Championship by a healthy distance already, 43 points to 16 over the Williams drivers, so it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. I've been sent an invite for F2, you never know, I might jump on, we'll see. But Nico now has got to defend for the 7th time. Can Lee Finlay do it? Oh, and Jarno has got through on his teammate under DRS into turn number 1. I doubt Schnitzel fought that too much knowing the DRS. So that is Jarno now at the lead of the race, as Lee Finlay now goes past on Nico, who's going to try and go back through. No, he doesn't, and that's 7 in a row for those guys. If you're keeping tabs at home, it's still going on. Davidos DRS assist on the Red Bull there of Clarkey, and fresh tyres to go with it, puts the pole up into 13th place. But Jarno now into the lead of the race, and I did see a 3-second penalty for Davidos. I've only counted 2 penalties so far in this race, so very good driving from everybody. Michael though is right in the back of Nico, who's dropped a little bit off the back there of Lee Finlay, and that, if he doesn't catch, well, he's catching it up a little bit, but that could come into play if he doesn't close up enough. He's got DRS obviously to help him here though. That's going to work in his favour. Michael in 7th place. The position changes. Lost 2 places from the start. Nico up 3 places. Jim Roy up 6 from the start. He's the biggest gainer in the race. Alex is your biggest loser. And Jim Roy actually has just made up another place there at the end of the DRS assist on Azar. So he's up 7 places now from his starting position, and absolutely flying along on those soft compound tyres. He is now 14 seconds off the lead, so I don't think he's going to get anywhere in the top 3, but 4th place is still on for the Williams driver, and it would be an incredible drive from the back of the grid if he was to do so. The Renault's holding station, and Lucas is now out of DRS range. You can see those yellow and black machines are becoming a little bit more of a speck in the distance from McLaren at certain points in the track, and that is not going to help his progress, because they guys will be able to just use the DRS to help them keep ahead of the McLaren and keep the gap, as Davidos makes his way up to 12th place now, having made a move on Clarkey, as Casper looks to the inside now of his at turn 4, but not able to dive up the inside, but gets much better traction on the exit, and that is now the final points paying position for the young Dutchman, and he moves up into 10th place. Can he do anything on the Toro Rosso ahead before much longer? Lucas has got himself back into DRS range up front, and you can see here Lee Finlay and Nico are still close together. Now, I think that was the first lap last time by that they haven't passed and repassed each other, so there you go. 7 laps in a row with those two doing that. Michael's got the attentions of Frosty though. You have to be very careful if he wants to keep a hold of that position. Moving on. And this has been absolutely amazing. The top 10, in fact, forget that. The top 15 are covered by about a pit stop. It's incredible how close everybody is. I'm absolutely loving this. Lucas has just about got himself in DRS range. Didn't get it by the detection point, but he is closing up, so maybe just turn the battery down for a lap or 2 to help him. Michael is going to see if he can do anything. He's not close enough, so he's still being Lee Finlay locking up down into turn 1. Casper with DRS has made his way in 9th place now, ahead of Alvaro Anzar in the Toro Rosso. He's now got Max Till to defend in just a moment's time. Lap 22 of 29, and it is Jarno who leads the race from Schnitzel in 2nd, Lucas in 3rd position, the pole sitter, as Max Till picks up a 3-second time penalty, and if my calculations are right, that's only the 3rd penalty during this entire race, which is unbelievable to see, but we'll check that obviously come the end of the race. Lee Finlay at the moment, no, keeping a hold of 4th position is the Scotsman, and doing pretty well at the moment in that Haas, but he's still got a gaggle of cars behind him. Nico, Michael, Frosty, and you can now just about nearly, in the next lap or 2, you'll be able to add Roy onto that as well, in 8th place, and you never know, by the end of the race Casper might be up there as well before much longer. Paris has just made a move at the end of the 2nd DRS zone into turn number 11 on Alex in the Red Bull, so he's now the Toro Rosso meet in a Red Bull sandwich. That's 14th, 13th and 15th. Back up to the front, Schnitzel not making a move on his teammate. Lucas still sitting there waiting to try and pick up the pieces. Nico's going to go for the inside line on Lee Finlay. They resume their battle. That's 8 times they've done that since the pit stop phase, and Nico puts himself back up into 4th place. Lee Finlay, can he do anything heading up to turn 4? No DRS, unlike there was in real life this year in the race, and he has to fall back in and wait for now. Alvaro Anzar picking up the latest 3-second time penalty as the warnings start to rack up for some of the drivers. Frosty was pretty much pushing Michael through turns 6 and 7 there. It looked like it was almost like NASCAR at Daytona going down the hill, but He's still holding on to 7th position at the moment, but he's going to be having the attentions of the other Williams behind him before long, because there in the background is Roy, 1.2 seconds down, nearly got himself into DRS range now of the guys ahead, and he could be on for 4th place by the end of this race, which would be absolutely unbelievable result from the back end of the grid. Back up front though, it's a complete lap 23 of 29, and it is Jarno still leading from Schnitzel. You can see Lucas there is out of DRS range. He's starting to drop off. Here comes the Australian Grand Prix winner under DRS on his teammate into turn number 1, and it's going to be a pretty easy move. Jarno's surely not going to attack that one too much on his own teammate, and that is Schnitzel back up into 1st place. So we've now got the 1-2 from Australia, exactly how it was, as Lee Finlay defends from Nico this time. Nico's now got Michael going the other way round, and a lovely little move we just caught the end of there by the Williams driver, to go round the Mercedes and through into 5th place. But Nico's going to try and attack into turn number 4 but can't do so, and Roy's joining the back of this train now. So we've now got a 5-car train over 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th, with Casper closing into the back of it as well before very much longer. Max Till's managed to get ahead of Alvaro Anzar as well, and look at these guys through turn number 8, pretty much nose to tail. Lucas is closing back up in on Jarno though. He's now back in DRS range off the Renault ahead, so we'll jump to them in a wee moment. But look at these guys, it's been like this for what, about 12-13 laps now, absolutely nose to tail, no damage, no incidents, no dramas. Clean, brilliant, respectful racing, exactly what we want to see, and exactly the kind of racing we want we promote here at Apex Online Racing. I'm going to jump though to the race leaders, because these guys are basically 1 second cover all 3 of them one more time, and that means Lucas has finally got himself DRS to try and gain that gap back. Is Jarno going to repass his teammate into turn 1? He's got DRS, he's pulling to the inside, he's not going to do so, so we are going to jump back and see what's going on between the battle back here. Lee Finlay, Michael, Nico, Frosty, and now Roy onto the back of it as well. Michael's not going to do anything. Roy's going late up the inside on Frosty. I've just seen a bit of carbon fibre flying off there on someone. Frosty's going to hold on around the outside, and Roy not able to get the move done yet, but he's going to have a good run up the hill towards turn number 4. Can the Williams driver get it done? He's on the inside line. He's going to have the better grip as well with the soft tyres, and can he get the power down? And yes, he looks like he's going to do it down towards turn number 6, and that is Roy now up into 7th place. But I've seen some carbon fibre up ahead. Have any of those guys got some damage? Let me see, is that Nico's front wing with a bit of damage on one side? Let me just have a look. Nope, it's not. So I did see something. Yes, it is. There it is. Yes, right hand side, Nico in the Mercedes has got wing damage, and that is going to be hindering him. That car's going to be understeering like a shopping trolley at the moment. I'm going to expect to see him in pit lane before long, and that's an easy move for Roy to take over 6th place from Nico and follow his teammate. Frosty will be through before long, and Nico must have clipped the back off the Williams and Michael, or even Lee Finlay, and that is going to drop him right down the field, because that is now Frosty got ahead of him as well, and Casper's going to get ahead as well. Nico's still fighting it, but he's got no front wing. He's going to have absolutely no grip into the corner. This is a little bit brave off the Mercedes driver, and it looks like he's going to try and carry on because there's not long to go in the race. And he's look at this, we're going to get 3 wide down the main straight. Who's going to come out on top into turn 1? It's Frosty, Nico, Lee Finlay. Who's going to come out? Can Lee Finlay make a double move into turn 1? Oh, he's nearly done it. He's got Frosty up the inside. He's pushed wide. Nico sneaks up the middle of the 2 of them and retakes over 7th place. Casper is kicking about now as well. He's not too far off the back too. In fact, it's Casper involved. Sorry, I'm mixing the Haas drivers up, sorry. It's Casper getting involved here with Nico and Frosty, and Casper now has got himself up ahead of Frosty, and he's now going to go the long way round and past on his soft tyres on Nico and up into 7th place. 2 moves done there in quick succession from the Dutch driver, and Nico struggling with that wing damage. You'll see it here as they come through 9 and 10, just there on the inside line, struggling but fighting with all he's got in these closing stages of the race. And 3 wide into turn 1. Casper nearly got the move done, then managed to get it done out of turn 4, puts himself up into 7th. Nico Nico down to 8th, Frosty in 9th. It's allowed the Williams pair though of Michael's got ahead of Lee Finlay in that melee we were watching, so the Williams now up to 4th, and Roy's teammate coming up behind in 6th place, starting lap 27 of 29, so we're now into the last couple of laps, and Lucas is back onto the tail of the two Renaults up ahead. Frosty's got ahead of Nico, who's just picked up a time penalty to go with it. Where is Nico on my sheet? There he is. Brilliant, keep an eye on that one. So he is struggling with that wing damage. You can see there Michael going through in the background. Nico's still fighting into turn 1. All this has done is drag Max Till back into it. Frosty keeps the position for now, and Nico with a little bit of wing damage he's battling, I'll give him that much. He is really wanting to keep a hold of as many points as he can. Up the inside into turn 4, the Sauber comes across his nose. No more damage coming across there, but it looks at it, and the Sauber holds the place for now. But Nico is trying with all his might, but he's now got Max Till behind him. Alvaro Anzar's closed up, so the battle for the points is on, and Nico's got a 3-second time penalty, which won't be doing him any favours come the end of the race. But I've tried to keep up with the battles. I know the leaders have been not really seen in this last part, apart from small snippets, and that's because they've been keeping themselves nose to tail. But Lucas now has got the bit back between his teeth. He's saved the battery up, he's saved the tyres up, and now he feels the time is right to go in the attack with just a couple of laps to go. About to start the penultimate lap, lap 28 of 29 here in Bahrain. Please, if you're watching along, tell me who you think your driver of the day is down in the chat below. I'd like to see if we've got a number of contenders, that is for sure, on who could be driver of the day. And Lucas looks to the inside line on Jarno, up into turn number 1, and the McLaren has got the move done. Jarno's seen that one coming, gave him the space, and that is the move into second place. And we've got a yellow flag, and it's Nico with the damage, just maybe pushing too hard, clipping the curb, and he's got much more damage, I would say, to the Mercedes, and down to 15th. He's still going to carry on as best he can, and he's retired on track, which is a naughty thing to do, as Alvaro Anzar is fighting with Max Till as well into turn 1, 2 and 3, but Nico losing it. That's put Casper and Frosty out of the way now, and Max Till round the outside of Alvaro's Toro Rosso through turn 4, and look, Davidos is going to try and make it 3 wide into turn 6, surely not, and up the inside goes the Toro Rosso. Late move, yellow flag somewhere in sector 1. That'll be Nico's car pulling to the side of the road. I'd imagine it was a bit cheeky. Oh, that's a late move there by Alvaro. I'll bump and move up the inside into turn 8, and he's got the move done. The Toro Rosso through the Force India, not happy. Max Till is not chuffed at that Toro Rosso, and his teammates are right behind as well. Look at this, after all that battling out there, Lucas is 1.6 seconds down on Schnitzel, so he's just found a bit of lap time just there at the end of the race as we come on to the final lap here of the Bahrain Grand Prix here in Tier 1 on the PlayStation 4, and it's Schnitzel looking like he's going to make it 2 out of 2 to start season 17. 1.7 seconds clear of Lucas in second, with Jarno in third. Michael's in fourth, he's got Lee Finlay behind in fifth, and Roy still looking like he might fancy taking 5th place off the Haas driver on the final lap. Down the front straight, any late moves under braking? No, nothing into turn 1. Goodness me. And Casper in 7th place after all of that action that we did see with Nico before he retired. Max Till sneaks by on Alvaro. He'll probably have been given a one-finger salute possibly after that move into turn 8, and that's allowed Davidos to sneak through up into the final points paying position. Alvaro getting hung out to dry there, and he's now battling with Clarkey, looking up the inside into turn number 4. Any move to be done? They're wheel to wheel, really pushing it. That pushes the Red Bull wide off the track, and the other Toro Rosso with Paris coming through as well, and that is more moves going on. It is hard to keep hold of everything going on, but here we go through the final sector. We need to watch the lead pair come across the line, and Schnitzel's just found the time in the last few laps, turned the fuel up. Obviously you can see the fuel light flashing in the bottom right hand corner, but he's gone from being in DRS range to being 2.3 seconds clear in the space of about 2 laps. Phenomenal late minute pace from the Renault driver. He crosses the line and he's going to win the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's 2 wins out of 2 to start the season for him. Brilliant result for him. Lucas is in 2nd place from pole position, and as Jarno comes across the line, crawling across the line, I think he ran out of fuel there, he takes 3rd position. Michael in 4th, Lee Finlay 5th, 5th. Roy couldn't get past, he takes 6th. Casper in 7th. Here comes Frosty to finish in 8th. Max Till in 9th position. Dawados 10th, but there is some penalties down here as well, so keep an eye on it. And it is Clarkey who gets 9th, with Max Till then taking 10th on penalties. Alex in 11th. Alvaro drops down to 12th. Paris in 13th. Dawados drops to 14th. The final driver on the track is Demon in the McLaren. Unsure what happened to him. It was very early doors in the race. I didn't catch it on the stream. I'm unsure of what it was, but he's been running around on his own at the back for pretty much the entirety of the race. So he's going to be the last one across, drifting his way round the final lap. But what a race that has been. I've just seen there, shout for Lee Finlay for driver of the day. Anyone else giving out any rewards? No one there. Satirical Zero, hope one of the Williams was going to take a podium. They nearly got close at one point.